one of the new tools that I found online gives us the way for you to communicate with us verbally. And it's not calling, but it's kind of like that. Yeah, that's right. You can leave messages that we can put on the show just by clicking a link and then clicking a button, of course. But if you want to say anything to us or give a shout out, please do. If you have questions, perhaps on one of our episodes, I'll leave a link from now on. So that way you could verbally communicate to us and be put on the show if you want. You know, you don't have to. If you're going to leave a voice recording, I'm going to assume that it's to be on the show, mind you. If you don't want it to be on the show, then there's a phone number in the description for the show. Please call. But other than that, if you want to be on the show and you want to be on air, please do click the link. Send us a voice message and we shall communicate over the air. Yes. You're listening to SAS, Starseeds, Angels, Savant Syndrome, with your host, The Mystic Man. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for joining us today. It's always lovely having you. And you know, I went through a whole year doing podcasts, not very often, but here and there, with like nobody listening. So it's really an honor to have you listening. And I don't know if I'll ever get used to it, but I like it, you know, I like it. And thank you. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your appreciation. If you could share, please do. Share the app, share the podcast on whatever platform you're on, and thanks for being supportive. One of the things that I aim to do most foremostly in life in general is to be supportive. Not just physically or monetarily, but also emotionally. I think it's important to note, and everybody should know and remember, that the fire of our passions and what we want to do in life, it needs to be cultivated. When nobody supports us, it's really hard to keep the fire going. It shouldn't be like that. It doesn't have to be like that. Dreams shouldn't die because we gave ourselves excuses or told ourselves that it didn't matter. Because dreams matter to somebody, or else we wouldn't have them. Uomao ka'el o ka'ana I kapono, O humanity. Today, we have a very cool guest, Yogi Raj. I've known him as Bradley, and we met not too long ago online, and I just knew I had to have him on the show because he had that way about him that's just totally what the show is all about, you know? I mean, first off, explicit, right? You know, freedom of speech. Second off, laid back, you know, chillax dude, totally chillax. And third of all, of course, spiritual minded, spiritually aware, very wise dude with experience to back it. And actually, that's what Deepak Chopra calls it, the difference between religion and spirituality. He explains it as that spirituality is an experience, while religion is a belief. Yogi Raj, awesome guy, and very much, I want to say he seems like a very California type dude, you know, but maybe it's just a West Coast thing. And it's really good to have him on the show. We've got some really cool people coming up too on future shows and future episodes. So be sure to catch us. Stay tuned. If you don't have the app yet, please download it. It doesn't send out any annoying notifications or nothing like that. There's no push notifications on the app. It's a very lightweight app, but it's a very fun way and more efficient way to stay up to date. You can always go and browse through the bookmarks to find any link to any resource that I might give or that my guests might give. Very handy thing. I'm very much about bookmarks. I have over 6,000 now. I know. and yes, they are organized, categorized, that way I know where everything is. I like to make accounts freely, and anytime I see a cool website, hey, I make an account. It's not hard, it's really quick. I use a web tool, a password vault called LastPass, but there's many others. I believe OnePass is another one, I think it is. There's a few others, and they're cool because you can have your stuff encrypted. You don't have to worry about nothing. Multiple different passwords per website, so you don't have to use the same password the whole time around, which is a horrible idea, by the way. You should never use the same password ever. One of the greatest ways that anybody could get hacked, and most common ways, actually, I believe I've heard it as, is when a major website has a security breach and user data gets taken. So, like, you know, I'm sure you've had it before where a major company like Yahoo, I believe it was a year ago or so, Facebook's had it before. Who else? A Canva, and a couple others, right? You know, just whoops, lost track of data, and it happened to be user data with passwords. Well, what happens is that means that they have access to emails assigned with and aligned to the passwords. Now, if you have a password there that you use for everything else, well, hey, that's kind of asking for it, because blam, they just got the one password to your everything. Which is why you always want to use something like LastPass, something like it. Google is pretty cool about it nowadays, because the Google Chrome, it lets you create passwords automatically, and it stores it for you encrypted, which is good. But, you know, for me, I prefer to have it on a off in a different tool. LastPass is good because they don't have access themselves to the data. Actually, they use a third party to store everything. And in fact, I think it was about maybe like 8 months ago or so, the DEA went and I think it was, I don't know how it goes, subpoenaed or got a court order to access their info to try to get into this one guy's account, right? Because he was like some drug dealer, mafia boss or something like that. Turned out LastPass could not give them access because they don't have access. So, yeah, that's how secure it is. Even the government couldn't get at it. And, of course, there's always ways and whatnot, sure. You always have to consider that for everything. But it's better to be secure than not at all. And, well, a tool like LastPass also allows me to create websites very fast, or accounts very fast, because it also has a feature where it just inputs, form data. So, blam, you press a button, boom, everything gets filled out, boom, blam, all good to go. And yeah, so I just create nonstop. I don't worry about nothing, and accounts everywhere. It's easy. I don't have to really remember none of the passwords ever. Just my fingerprint, PIN code, and my master password, of course. But I hardly really use it because, well, I mean, I don't want to explain the whole detail, but it also comes with a two-step authentication app. And if you don't use one, I suggest you use one. Start using one. The Google has one. LastPass has one. There's a few others, but a two-step authentication app is very good to have. Very important to have too, especially nowadays. And it's cool too because, like, if somebody wants to access your account on something, well, they need that, right? And they won't be able to have it because you have it on your device. Let's say you lose your device, well, that's where you keep a backup copy of written code. Some apps have that, and some websites have that, where you have a usually it's around like 8 to 12 words or so, and you just write it down somewhere, keep it with you or something, your wallet, maybe not your wallet, just keep it somewhere safe, and you can have that for in case you lose your device, or in case you get your device wiped and you don't have the access to the two-step authentication app anymore. But these are very practical things that I think everybody should do. Keeps everything safe, keeps everything secure, and it's not hard at all, and it's free. So, it not only empowers you, but it gives you a sense of safety and security to where you don't really care. You don't really care about making hacker accounts and putting passwords because you don't really, it doesn't really matter. You got the other accounts all over the web, like me. I got so many website accounts everywhere, all over the web that, like, okay, somebody hacks into something. I mean, first off, very slim chance of that happening. But, I mean, of course, it's always possible. Second off, oh, well, so what? That's one account. Do. I've got things everywhere. even if they got into my bank accounts, which I have like 12 bank accounts, because you can nowadays, right? Free bank accounts that don't cost anything. There's many apps for it. It's easy. Let's say they got all of them. Well, whatever. I got cryptocurrency too, you know, and that's even more secure too. But yeah, in any sense, don't keep all your eggs in one password at all. You're listening to SAS, Star Seeds, Angels, Savant Syndrome, with your host, the Mystic Man. The info that he's about to give.
What was that? The universe is shutting it down.
For real. I don't know what you were gonna say, but it was that's top quality secret. Can't be saying that to the public.
Right. Yeah. No, if there's something coming in the way, I always feel like like you're on the right track. Like if there's opposition, keep on pushing.
That's what I'm saying. And a lot of spiritual people these days, they take it the opposite way.
Yeah. I know it's kind of sad. Like I mean, Ice Cube said it the best. He's like, "Hey man, if it's easy, it's weak, you know?
Ooh, I like
If
that.
it's easy, it's weak."
Yeah.
So like you find yourself in a situation and you're having to push and push and push and push, which I mean I do with my daily spiritual practice. It's crazy how much I have to push. If I were to just like roll over, I would never have experienced all of these crazy like amazing benefits that honestly it's humorous when I speak about stuff to most people. I'll speak about it and they'll just be like, ha ha, chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. I'm like, bro, you just don't even know though. Like
Yeah.
you can't even fathom the fact that somebody could actually be experiencing these type of experiences because they're so out there. It's impossible to really come to terms with, holy crap, is this guy for real, or is he just pulling my leg, or is he one of these crackpots, you know? But,
you know, and that's the thing too. I think that there's a lot of us, quote unquote, crackpots that are really having these experiences, and like you got a part of society that really is kind of like just staring, like, oh, what the hell's going on?
right.
With the synchronicities, especially, there's a lot of synchronicities come into play. Um, the lives are coming together. Crazy happenstances, meetings, soulmate interactions, and such.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, how you liking this full moon? You feeling that? Woo.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Oh man,
And
dude,
I didn't even know it was a full moon. Actually, thanks
full
for letting
moon
me know.
going. It's 11:11, man.
That's so nuts. What time are
Eleven
we at?
eleven. It's Armistice Day.
Um, we
It's
got
the end
nine.
of the war. The war has been won, right?
Really? Is that what it is?
That's what 1111 originally became famous because it was the end of World War One. Yeah,
What?
and it ended November 11th at 11 a.m. So it
Wow.
was like 11 was a big thing.
Oh my God! You totally just dropped a historical, and I gotta say it, bomb. I mean, that I had no idea. I thought it was something that just popped up out of nowhere, in the modern age.
No, no, no. I mean,
It's,
I think there definitely is like some significance behind that number,
Mhm.
um, and I think it really symbolizes like a doorway, you know, out of out of like fighting, war, and strife and struggle, all that. It's like it's what people are thriving for. They want it so bad. They're seeing this number all the time, and they're like, "Oh, that's my gateway number. That's my portal number, or whatever." And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, man, cool. That's cool. Take it with
Yeah.
you.
Everybody got their real personal experiences with it. And like it's well, for me it was not really like a super positive, like happy go lucky thing. Like when I first started seeing 1111, it was a gangbanger told me he was seeing it. He ended up like fucking raping one of my friends. Don't worry, the show is explicit as fuck.
Cool.
And yeah, I don't talk to him anymore. But then the 1111 followed through with me, and it jumped to me. And I started everywhere, and I thought he was crazy. I was like,
Right.
guy is
You
nuts.
seeing numbers? What?
Like, yeah, your mind can play tricks on you. But then, at the perfect moments, at the perfect time, that just when irony's about to hit, bam.
Yeah.
How about you? How did you start up? How would you say that you started up your spiritual journey? And I know that these things are basically, we've had experiences through our life, but what really kicked it off for you?
Um. What what kicked it off? Honestly, God. I mean, it had to have been. It wasn't like I was just like going through these motions, and I was just I don't know. It's like something woke up inside me one day, and I was just like, whoa. Like life is different. Life feels different now, and I'm feeling like love is the key. And I kept just like hearing this constantly, and it was just like it would stick in my head like so intensely. And then I started like practicing and started like actually like throwing this stuff out and like, I wonder, like how strong really is love. And I would just like start like doing like like things like step out of my shoes to uh, influence somebody in a positive way, and just finding like myself like going through these crazy journeys because of it,
Yeah.
and it just like it from there on it just like blossomed into one thing after another. And I mean, I can talk all night about the cool stuff that I've been through, but yeah, no, I'm just right now I'm just really focused on just purifying my body and my spirit, my mind, my conscience, even. And it's awesome when you start like peeling off these layers that aren't you, that are false, these false senses of self and mind and persona, and even your body, like this like, oh, like eating all this sugar and drinking and smoking and all this, and like like that stuff's not me. I'm me without all that stuff. So to identify myself as I it's me on that thing is not identifying with the real me. So I'm just like pulling off these layers. I don't know if you heard about the No Bus November.
No, I
You
never
heard
heard
about?
of
Oh man, these guys are out here like taking the no shave November. They're like, man, you heard about no shave November. It's all about no bus November now.
it.
We out here holding nuts. We ain't here busting nuts.
What?
Yeah,
How,
dude. I'm like,
what is
wow. I wonder how many
talking
people are actually
about?
gonna follow through with that.
What does that mean? Like,
That like not busting a nut. Like keep holding it in.
oh my God, no! I
Like
want to keep saying and asking, like, what does that mean? Like, I don't even understand because, well, I mean, that's
No
weird.
ejaculations.
Yeah, I got you. Like, I met a dude right around the same time that I met you, and that's what he was about. And it was really weird because it was in a one of those group text chats for quitting smoking.
Oh
And,
yeah.
and he just hopped in there, not even about that, but actually for about quitting masturbation. Seemed like a cool guy. Um, yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
And wait, is that you? That's not you, right?
I
No.
mean, I haven't publicly announced my non-masturbation habit, but no, I've been celibate for a number of months.
Yeah, well,
I'll
that's
tell you what, it does suck waking up sticky sometimes, but you get over it.
oh, I haven't had that in yet. I've been
Yeah,
stuck.
no,
Like,
no, it's funny because like men will say like, "Oh yeah, that's a little kid thing to go through. That's an adolescent thing to go through."
oh,
But
really?
it only happened when you're adolescent because you're like your body's like ready to go, and you're just like you're building up all of this, you know, juice, all the sauce, and it's got to go somewhere. But
That's right.
really I'm about harnessing that, like taking that and using it so that I don't have to have this buildup happen. That buildup happens because you're not doing anything with it, but you can
Mm.
actually take that energy on the inside and actually utilize it to bring your body out of ailments, physical ailments, spiritual ailments. You
Oh,
can.
yeah, I've never heard of that one.
What's up?
I've never heard of that one. But that makes sense. It's the raw energy, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, think about how much energy it takes to create a child. Like the amount of energy that's released in an orgasm is enough to bring a soul to Earth. You know what I mean? Like you can boil it down to biology and all that, and you can reduce it to how much you want to. But just like you were saying, man, it's microcosm, macrocosm. You can take the smallest thing, like an egg cell and a sperm cell, and you can bring a life here that can change the entire planet. You know what I mean? So this super small thing is so insignificant that that kind of mentality needs to just melt away, because it's way more than we have the knowledge to understand. Like in the Garden of Eden, when God was still here and we were still among with God and one with God, God was the one who was shepherding, men and women to having intercourse and creating life. There was specific heavenly designed purpose, like, okay, you're gonna have a child on this day, we're gonna walk through this. I mean, it's probably still an intimate thing, and maybe even a closed door thing, but it's like it's more of like, this is how you do it type of a thing, and there's a right way to love and a wrong way to love, and all
I like,
that, etc., etc.
amen. Amen to that. You sound like my dad puts it too. He puts it a similar way. He goes, um, it's not up to us when we have a baby.
Yeah, yeah, for real though. I
Yeah,
mean, as much as it as much as it we try to make it that way, right?
right.
It doesn't happen that way at all. But yeah, you can take this energy though that has, the ability to shepherd in life, and you can take that and you can literally channel it up your body to the crown of your head. And the crown of your head is a very special place. It's a very, very intimate, special place. It's the highest point of your body. Is the It is the literal gateway to you and these heavenly realms. And there's energy centers above your body as well as within your body.
Uh,
And this top chakra point, the Sahasrara chakra, is actually this gateway between those higher chakras and the lower ones, the as above so below. So if there's 7 chakras within the body, then there has to be 7 chakras above the body in these heavenly realms, right? So you can actually pull this energy that's within the body and you can push it all the way to the crown of your head. And once it touches, that energy touches the crown of your head, it gets purified by the opening of the crown chakra. The opening of this chakra has a light. A light actually emanates from it. A pure light from these heavenly realms emanates from your crown, which is why I think babies have that hollow spot on their head, and it stays
Oh,
open for a
wow.
long time because they have this purified light just funneling in through their body, all through pregnancy. And it's just barely, it's the last thing that gets to seal up before the body's, okay, you're all there. But you can reopen that center and purify this sexual energy that you are able to draw up your spine through mantras, through meditation, through what they call bandhas, which are basically it's basically how you can stimulate this energy and pull it up with more aggression, and instead of like this passive, like come on, you're gonna get up there, come on, taking all day. You can actually like, if you ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. You can
Right.
actually force that and just shoot the moon. But it'll
Whoa.
go up to your crown and then fall back down in a purified state and enter in your navel center. And then from there, I believe it gets stored. Some of it gets stored, and then some of it starts to channel down into your lower spine for a second orbit, and you can continually orbit and keep purifying this light that's inside of your body, this energy that's within your body, because everything's light, right? Everything's energy. Heat is light. It's got a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you're feeling like you're in this meditation and you start getting really hot, that means there's a ton of energy taking place. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but with me, when I do my orbit and it goes over the top, sits in my stomach, I can feel it, just like it's like the nicest hot, like your whole stomach will just catch on fire almost, and it's like the best feeling in the world. And you'll get up and you'll feel like you're floating on air. I mean, oh my gosh, there's so much potential within the human body. It is sad. It is so sad that nobody really fully understands how to utilize that. And that, like, all these people that are sick, and they're broken down, they can't, get done with the most mundane of tasks because their body's just not spiritually able. Like Jesus even said it. He's like, the body is dead without the spirit.
Yeah.
Body is nothing without the spirit. So bam, right there. I'm gonna stop ranting because I can go on.
No, it's not a rant at all. This is, I mean, if anything, that's what my podcast is.
It's
That's
rant
my
central.
exactly. And the more the merrier. Because I mean, when it's just me ranting, like, it feels kind of awkward. Like, I want other people to talk too. you know?
Right, right.
But no, it's not ranting at all. This is good info, and I know that it's going to reach exactly people that need to hear.
Yeah, I mean, if I can guide or help anybody with any one thing specifically, it is meditation. Meditation. And that is the literal act of surrendering to God. like in the most direct form of surrendering to God. You can pray to God, and I've had some lit prayers, like
Yeah.
just some thank yous, just some subtle, subtle, subtle thank yous, and God will just light my little butt up. And he'd be like, that's what I wanted to see. And I'll just be like sitting here like, oh my gosh, is this happening right now? Like, I'm like, all I see is white light. My body just feels like it's not even there right now. I'm like getting all like feels going, bubbling up, tears rolling down my face. And
Yeah.
man, and then you just feel like you're floating on a cloud. It's like, and all you're sitting there doing is, talking, just saying, hey, what's going on? Thank you for everything you do. All those moments are just like they're those are beautiful moments, but they happen in surrender. Like, prayer is good, but prayer is only the one side of that coin. It's
Casey said it like that actually. Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet, he put it as that to pray is to talk to God, and meditation is to listen.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I totally hear you there. It's
yeah.
definitely. I
It's
should get
totally
more
true.
a bit more.
It's totally true. And you know what's funny is like, yeah, I mean, you know what? God loves to hear from us. That's like if you had a child who you haven't spoken to in a long time, he
Yeah,
loves to hear. You would love to speak to your child.
yeah,
But if you had like information that was like absolutely necessary for your child who you haven't spoken to in a long time, to actually get through to them, and to, hey, I know you want to catch up and you want to chit chat and, tell me how crappy this is going and stuff. Is like, hey, I got all those answers though. You just need to sit, surrender, and listen to me, right? So God's got all the good things to say to us. We just don't know how to shut up sometimes.
that was a very good way of putting it.
It's all about that surrender, though. It really is. It's a spirit is contrary to the flesh. It's at war with it, almost. Like your flesh wants to do all these things that literally will take you away from spirit, which will take you away from God, right? It
Right.
wants all those things. It's like, oh, feed me more. I'm not done. Oh, yeah, I want to get some of that booty. Oh, I want this, I want that, and it would just, it's never satisfied. It'll never be satisfied. So you gotta notice that, you're not the body. You're actually the pilot of the body. The body will do what the body wants to do. It's its own animal, you know
Yeah.
and you're just the pilot of that animal, and not even that. Even sometimes you're just the co-pilot. Sometimes I feel like that's the problem with man right now, is we let our bodies pilot everything we do. We don't let our minds and our spirits pilot what we do. So you got to surrender yourself, and fully surrender. Like my actual spiritual awakening, which I know the actual date, December 21st, 2012. That
Uh,
day when I laid down and I surrendered, it it was like, whoa, what's happening? My body locked up into place, and my heart just started pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm just like sitting here like, holy crap,
well,
what's happening? What's going on? Just going on this crazy ride. And I totally attribute that moment to being like a heart chakra opening. Like
that's so cool.
there was a something that really literally opened up within my heart in that moment, and just poured in all this love that came from, somewhere else, and I feel like that would never have happened if I wouldn't have surrendered the body like I did. And it's literally just make everything still. Be still and know that I am God. I mean, it's in the Bible. Like people can say, "Oh, the Bible, this and that." No, no, no. there's truth in that sucker. There is so much truth in that sucker. It's not even funny, you
That's
know?
how I put it too. I say that it don't matter if it was a comic book. When the truth is universal, it's still universal. Like you can look at practicality and apply these things. And if you got the emotional empathy with a lot of the things that Christ said too, especially definitely with the things Christ said, he was very practical and very
Yeah.
logical, and people brush it away just because like, you know, things of technicalities of the book. And it's like, dude, like, you know, these things are very wise things. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, and Jesus was on point. He had to be, right? He was on point. He knew exactly what he was saying, and he knew how to layer what he was speaking so that people who were actually awakening, who were having these spiritual experiences, and they read his words, they would be like, "What? Oh my gosh, this guy is totally talking about what I'm going through in my
oh,
life. What is happening right now?" And it's not like the guys going to church like, "Oh, yep, here just to worship God and this and that." That's all great. That's all great. There's nothing wrong with coming together as a family of God, all that. But I'm telling you, these spiritual experiences, though, those are the things that Jesus really had like layered in there in the Bible, that most people will take them, they'll take them as a parable. But if you really have experienced some of these spiritual experiences, and then go back to the Bible and find out, oh, connection, whoa, your top's blown off because you're like, this is nuts. Like, this guy's talking about what I had just experienced.
yeah.
This is insane. Like, I'm just like astonished that. And then you'll go to a pastor and you'll say, "Hey, this is what's happening to me, and I'm pretty sure Jesus is talking about it too, here in this little passage right here." And they'll just be like, "Oh man, that's the devil." They're just like, "Oh, son of
Yeah. What's her name? What that the angel numbers lady? What's her name? The famous one. She used to run the angel numbers website that everybody used to go to. Uh, I think it started with a D. Anyways, yeah, she had her little spiritual haps where she went and just called it all off. She said, "No, numerology is for the devil. There's demons in there and shit." Now she's a born again Christian,
a-" Yeah.
and you know, crazy that happened because it's like, I'm sure you've heard her name or seen her stuff online. She used to be the top like numerology lady, like um. But yeah, no, it's just a trip. I think what it is really is the closer we get to God, the more ironies we have to face, and we have to face ourselves, of course, in those ironies. And
Yeah.
sometimes, the darkness in us is a thing that we don't want to face, or we can't face that it's us. So we think it's the universe mocking us.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Totally
know?
that. Yeah, no,
And
there's a lot of there's a lot of timid there's a lot of lukewarm timidness when it comes to spirituality. Like, people think that, you know people think that God wants us to be, a certain way, when in reality most people don't know what God wants for them. What God wants is for us to kick the devil's butt, right? He wants us to freaking start laying it down, breaking down strongholds, and just not letting our own wills be turned against ourselves.
yeah,
Like, whereas, like, man, it doesn't matter how many times you go to church, you always hear about people going to church and saying, "Oh man, I had a lapse," or this happened to me and that happened to me, and I'm no exception to the rule. But I'll tell you what, the exception came when I stopped my spiritual practice. That's when I fell victim to all these little snares that, you know, the adversary amongst us has, you know, the ability to grab us with. And it was only from stopping those things, because when you're on point with your spiritual practice, man, and you're bulletproof.
What do
You're
you do,
bulletproof.
if you don't mind me asking, for your spiritual practice?
Yeah. What's that?
What is your spiritual practice, or what would you recommend?
So I practice. I've been practicing lately, and which has been a really just a huge benefit for me in general, has been the Maha Mudra, which everybody's like, oh no, mudras, oh no. You talk
I've never
about
heard of.
mantras. Oh yeah, and it's so funny how many people are afraid of mantras.
Why?
Mantras are so cool, but they don't understand the benefit of a mantra. The mantra, it could be I love Jesus. You know what I mean? For all the Christians out there, I know there's a lot of Christians that are just that they will run afraid, and they will cast it all out, and just it's ridiculous the amount of ignorance and the level of just insecurities that people can have when it comes to other people's cultures,
Because they don't
especially
know
when
the
they're
word.
beneficial spiritual gifts that these other cultures are trying to give to you, you know?
Yeah.
But so the Maha Mudra, it's basically the hurdle stretch, but it comes along with a bandha, a practice where you basically you exhale all of the air out of your lungs, and then you suck the gut in, and you kind of push it up towards like your crown, for instance. You suck the gut in and push it up, and it actually breaks what the yogis know as, there's like knots basically in your spine, where this energy that travels up your spine can actually get caught, and it'll get stuck there. So a lot of people that are stuck with, you know, like ailments or desires, like really strong sexual desires, it could be that there's a knot actually like in their sacral chakra region, and they can't actually push the energy beyond that region. There's a block and flow going to that area, and so this mudra, it's called the Maha Mudra. Just Google that. I mean, that's it has been like, it's been day and night for me since I started that. And a famous yogi from India who basically stated that this is one of the most important mudras that you can actually like undergo, is just the Maha Mudra, which is, it seems so simple, right? Like this, oh, you're just doing a hurdle stretch? What? That's crazy. Yeah,
What's
no, it's
the physical action to it?
so the hurdle stretch is you basically you sit down, you stretch one leg out completely, and you kind of align yourself straight with your legs, as straight as possible with your hips. And then you tuck one leg in, and you kind of have the bottom of your right leg, for instance, the one that's folded inwards, touching the inner side of your thigh. And you kind of want your knee to be kind of pushed down as far close to the ground as possible. And then you just reach forward with your hands and touch your left foot, which is stretched out all the way.
Okay.
And you just hold that stretch. Um, this famous yogi, he basically he said that for his students, he would have them do like 40 or 50 of these like sets per day, like bam, 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 bam.
I'll do one
And
right now.
honestly, like I don't know about you, but my low back, my hip region, my glutes, they'll get really, 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 really tight. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter. Like, it seems like every day I'm always having to freaking stretch out the same muscle, and it just like snaps back like a rubber band.
yeah, me too, definitely. So I gotta get on that. My legs feel really tense. I'm trying to do it right now. I think I hope I'm doing it right.
So yeah, you basically you put your one leg out and you have your heel straight on the ground, your left foot, and then your foot is vertical. Your left foot would be vertical, and then your right foot would basically be folded in with the sole of your foot touching the inside of your left thigh.
Okay. All right. Yeah, got you. There
And
you
then you would reach forward with both of your hands when you're actually doing it,
go.
and
Okay.
try and get as close to your feet as possible or wherever's comfortable. Honestly, as long as you're getting that stretch in and you're pulling that lower, you're stretching out that lower portion of your back and your legs. And man, I'm telling you, like spinal fluidity and is so important. It's so important when you're practicing meditation to have a strong back, a strong spine, and a really flexible one. Not like ridiculously flexible, but like you want to be able to have there has to be flow. That's the whole purpose of it, is to flow, is to get that energy flowing. So I'll practice that. That's my first go-to with my Maha Mudra for my practice as of late. And then I'll jump right up from that, and I'll get onto my knees and I'll start practicing my pranayama. And some people actually do pranayama and they'll hold one nostril closed, because I don't know about you, but some people have issue, and I do sometimes, but I think it's literally like a spiritual thing of why the both nostrils uh, do not remain open all the time. A lot of times, one nostril will close by itself, and it'll seal off essentially, and it'll only allow you to breathe out of one nostril. Which the yogis say that if you're breathing out of one nostril, you're only affecting one of the channels of energy that goes up and down the spine. I can't remember them specifically. They're naughty channels, and there's like the moon channel and then the sun channel. I believe there. I can't remember the specific names, but apparently you need to have both oxygen going in through your nose through both passageways in order to activate each of these channels. And then once you get those channels aligned properly,
Mhm.
then you can actually start pushing energy up your spine straight through the center of those two channels, but only until you're able to actually breathe through both nostrils simultaneously, or at least have the stimulation to align those things. And so there's a practice of pranayama where they'll close one nostril and start breathing like ferociously, like vigorously, like through your nostrils, and then closing the other nostril and breathing 20 breaths through that nostril. But me personally, I don't have to do that. My nose for the most part stays open pretty well. I'm blessed to have that. So I just do my pranayama just normally. I just sit down on my knees. I get my meditation pillow. I have another pillow underneath my knees, so I get super comfortable. I like I like the knee sitting because it extends the back a little bit better than just sitting straight on your butt, crisscrossed or whatever, half lotus or full lotus or however you like to sit. Um, but I like the knees, so I'll just sit on my knees and I'll just start my pranayama breath, and I'll just and so when you're actually doing that, you're actually pushing when you're exhaling, you're pushing up, like I was telling you earlier with
Which you got.
the Maha Mudra, how you're kind of push up into the abdomen cavity
Oh, where
as you're
did
breathing
that
out.
come from? I just
What's
noticed.
that?
I've been getting fat. All right. Yeah, it's I used to stretch and I used to be more physically active. I've really let myself go. I got to get back on.
Yeah. Man, every cell in your body is designed to be healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you don't feel healthy, you don't feel just tip top ready to go all the time, there's something in your daily life that you gotta focus on and really just put energy and effort into changing that thing. And that's a big part of a spiritual practice is being able to see when something isn't flowing right. It's not flowing the way it should flow. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's hard, and I can relate in all sorts of levels with this, but that's the thing. It's like some of the things it's impractical when it comes to energy alignments. Things that we feel shouldn't matter. In all practicality, and I think that's where it hits a lot of us. Is that there there's no aspecting things that we can grasp onto that really show that the thing makes sense. Yet it does in a strictly spiritual way, in a strictly synchronistic way. Of course, we hear the universe, signs, we hear messages, and I guess it really does come down to the level of denial, but at the same time, uh, sometimes it's like a communication thing, uh, because we need that practicality, I think, in a lot of ways when it comes to things that we've seen in society, especially with humanity, is
Mm,
that we're easily fooled. And,
yeah.
a lot of times, um, because we lose track of our practicality, we tend to do things like, oh, witch hunt. Oh, let's go take over this country and like use the Christianity for our excuse. And all kinds of really negative stuff that
Yeah.
that, that is based on pure spirituality, but with no practicality. And like, I don't know, it's my Mars in Virgo, uh, natally. I got a real like all my willpower is like directed towards like total analytical, uh, you know, Virgo stuff, which all of my exes hated.
That
But
just makes you who you are, man.
you
Let him
know,
hate.
yeah, I don't know. I met a deaf chick online, and I don't know, we seem to be hitting it off. you know, uh,
Yeah.
I think a deaf chick would go good for me.
Oh, dang.
But
I can't hear you complaining
so,
all day.
yeah, no, I don't want to keep you too late, and we are past the half hour mark. But man, dude, I gotta have you on more, man. You are awesome, and you really know your stuff, and you pretty much put me on game on a lot. Actually, you got me on the ground doing stretches, and I don't know how to say it. Maha, no,
Mudra.
Muja. Okay, okay.
So it's Mahamudra.
Okay. If you have any suggestions, like links and stuff, dude, throw it my way afterwards. Cause like not just for me, but also for the podcast, for the listeners, because like I can put the links in certain parts of the combo and they can, check it out too.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I can definitely throw you some links and stuff. I would just say, like, for the last little bit of my practice, I jump
Mhm.
from my pranayama, and then I just jump straight into an ujjayi breath meditation, and that can last, upwards of an hour or longer.
Wow.
When I get tired, when I start feeling like the energy coming up my spine, and it's like a daunting thing sometimes. It can be tiring, it can really like tax you, and like when you're trying to like get this energy to go up your body, and you can get tired, you can get sleepy. It'll immediately just put you to sleep sometimes. But as it's traveling up, if I get these places where this energy locks up on me, this really, really intense technique that I've learned is to just temporarily break the meditation to just resituate, and I'll lay down on the ground with a flat back. And it's like gravity is affecting this energy from traveling up, because then it's just ding, and it goes up like really effortlessly. And so that has been, I call them my up downs. I'll get it to flow over that way, and once I get it to flow over, I'll sit back up and I'll jump back into my ujjayi meditation again, and then you go again, starts all over again. And
Yeah,
that
that's
really,
awesome.
that practice makes all of those things that seem impractical so practical. It gives you this focus of, you're on the right track. You're doing good stuff right now, and it gives you like, it's like God's pushing you, and he's just like your cheerleader in the background, and just like just cheering you on, and you're just like, yeah, 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 get on with that, do that, and it just makes all those things that you think like, oh, the mundane, and oh, that's so difficult to actually do. It gives you
Right.
that extra push to get you to actually do them, and I would
Yeah.
say the hardest thing with meditation for the majority of humanity is just taking that first step, because nobody wants to take that first step. And if they do, they don't do it wholeheartedly. There will be half in, half out. I don't
Right.
know if it's going to work. It's not about if it's going to work or not. It's just having faith that I'm taking a step in this, and I'm not going to stop until I get results. And you will see those results when you take that step forward.
I
That's
like
all I
that a
got.
lot. Yeah, that's true. That's it. Really comes down to overpowering our. I mean, right now we're so rigged with all the social media and the like validation, selfie, you know, realm of the internet. Everybody's so we don't
Consumed.
have patience. Yeah, and consumed. Yeah, definitely overran by info and body desires. So, it's pioneers like you that really, really, well, you're a hero, and I mean that in a lot of ways, just by the way that you go about your way and you teach these techniques with such passion and self assurance that it gives me faith that you're right, and I want to get into this. I do. And I think, I've had exes try to get me, and it never worked. But and
Uh,
you know, I
yeah,
think,
man. No bus November. Hey, that called to you on two different levels. I'm just saying that's probably those synchronicities you're talking
okay, all right, all right, okay, all
about.
right, all right. Who's been showing you my Google uh searches? I'm all no, yeah, I'll give it a go. It's a hard thing because I really enjoy that.
Dude, yeah. I'm just try and go a week though. You know what I'm saying? See how you feel.
Okay, all right. I mean, I could do it. I did most of my
Do
life.
a week, man. You can do
Yeah,
it.
I can
No,
do
and
it.
then instead of every time you feel like doing that, jump down and do a Maha Mudra. You know what I mean?
All right.
You got motivation to slap the pickle. You should have some motivation to, raise that kundalini.
Is that did you just make that up right now, or is that an actual thing? Slap the pickle?
You never heard that?
I've never heard that before in my life, but I'm gonna start saying it, bro. I'm gonna have a specific slap the pickle, portion of the show, just to have that as the music time. Slap the.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
music
No,
time.
I'm not gonna say that. People are gonna get the wrong impressions about what this show's about. But yeah, no, dude, awesome to have you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me.
If you
Back to
time,
chemistry.
yeah, definitely. If you want some time, man, dude, I'd love to have you back on. I only have maybe like a couple people who are down for like next couple shows. But yeah, no, if you've never caught any of the other episodes, dude, check out some of the other people that I've had on. I've had some really cool people on.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, you have a good night now. I'll catch you later.
All right. Nice talking to you, Sean.
God bless.
God bless.
I've only done Skype for this, so I'm kind of like a newbie to Skype.
Okay.
Okay. Recording. I think red means recording, right?
Sweet.
What
So we're
up,
live.
Matt?
All right.
Bradley, where exactly are you calling from again?
Oh, so I came from my spiritual realms and
That's
incarnated in Edmonds, Washington. um, yeah, and then
right.
I was raised in Lake Stevens, and right now I'm in Wenatchee. Been pretty much all over the West Coast though.
You traveler.
A little bit, not too
That's
much.
no wonder we met. Yeah. I've been meaning to get you on for so long. I mean, I know this was like the original reason why we started talking.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even remember what Facebook group it was really. Um, was it the event is happening or something?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I have a few that I actually go to, but yeah, I think we were both on the same kind of topic or something, talking about something crazy, and then
Yeah, you made a dope post about a lot of really good stuff that caught my eye, and I just thought, oh, I gotta have this guy on.
for sure.
And I mean, since we've been talking all kinds of crazy, all kinds of crazy spiritual conversations, and we were just getting into science actually, which really, really surprised me. I had no idea that you knew so much about the quantum realm.
Um, I mean, I know my experiences,
Mhm.
and I know a little bit about modern science and a little bit about um, the old spiritual teachings and stuff. So I got a foot in quite a lot of places actually, but I wouldn't consider myself like an expert in any one specific thing, except my experiences. Definitely expert in what I've experienced. So how are you liking this full moon? Uh-oh, think I lost you. Yep, I lost you.
dark, feel so cold inside. In the rain, here I am, left alone with your secrets and lies. These are the words that I've been told, but now the fiction unfolds, and all the stories that you play are like candles that fade. These are the words that I've been told, but now the fiction unfolds, and all the stories that you play are like candles that fade. These are the words that I've been told, but now the fiction unfolds, and all the stories that we play are like candles that fade.